Okay, party people, it's early in the week and we've already got some really cool stuff happening. Euro, double bottom slash kangaroo tail. This is for those of you that want to know exactly what this would be a Ghost Valley setup that you're hanging your hat on the kangaroo tail. Now, couple of things could happen that would make this really ugly. The first is that the market would trade down below the stop loss level before it triggers the trade. That would be trading down below 34.90. Second thing is it could just trade too far low. Like it could trade sometime today down below, say, 35.10. That would be bad. What we really want to see ideally is that the market does something like this. It either breaches the high during the Asian session right now, and then kind of pulls back and then blasts off above it sometime, later today during the New York session or London session or even tomorrow. Or it's kind of just sits here and doesn't really go any lower than this candle over here, which has a low of 35.15. So that's kind of that's kind of what's going on here. Is that it could breach the high, and then I would have a new price to put it in at. So let's say that it goes above the high on the kangaroo tail of 35.35, and let's say it goes to 35.40. So then I would put my order, during the Asian session. So after the Asian session, when London fires up, I'll go ahead and put my order 5 pips above the Asian high, which in this case would be 35.45. However, I've got to add the spread because it's a buy trade. So that's going to be 35.47, something like that. And then I'm going to see, okay, what about my targets? Well, a really nice target's going to be here around 35.90, which is off these lows. That's only 40 pips or so, but that's at least where I want to put my stop at break even if I don't take profit there. And then I have another one, which is really nice, which is around this area, around 36.40. So that's another 50 pips right there for target 2. And then we've got the ultimate target up here around 36.90. That would be target 3. So that's kind of how I see this one. I really like the look of it. So that's a great looking setup. Again, two things could happen. It could trade too low, basically below these lows over here, and that would be bad. If it rocketed up during Asia and went to like 35.50, that would also be bad, right? We want it to stay kind of down here and then trigger in New York or London today or tomorrow, or even tomorrow, to be fair. The other one looks bloody awesome is the Canadian, no, not the Canadian dollar. Not the Canadian dollar. Well, the Swissy I don't like. I mean, a lot of people have asked about the Swissy. Swissy I definitely don't like. It hasn't cleared out the stop losses up here yet. So unlike the euro, it hasn't really gone high enough. So maybe it's going to go a little bit higher. But the other one that I really liked was the weekly. Oh, Kiwi, that's it. Yeah. We talked about this last week. It looked like a potential breakout when at this stage, it looked like a potential breakout because it was sitting on top of this bullish candle. It was just kind of sitting there, but it didn't. It false breakout, and then it closed. This is the critical thing here. It closed below. Let's get rid of all this crap. It closed below the lows of these two candles. So the low in this candle, 87.15. The low in this candle, 87.13. And it closed right here, as you can see, at 86.93, which is brilliant. So what I'm going to do is put a sell order right here below the low. But let's just see what happens today. Let's make sure that today it doesn't fall through the floor, because that would be bad. Tomorrow I'll go ahead and put my order in there, probably around 86.43, okay? But let's just wait and see. Make sure that it doesn't do anything dodgy, because if it does go lower than the low today, that would be really bad. It means it'll probably go higher during the rest of the week. But I love the fact that it's a really nice bend trade if you want to know what trade this is. It's a bend trade because we see a bend here in the line. Really nice significant level. This has got all of the makings of a nice long-term trade. In terms of targets, you know, the 85.50 area and the 84.50 area are probably pretty solid on that one. Okay, other things to just sort of clean up. The Canadian dollar hasn't really reached my sell level yet, so I'm still waiting on that one. The euro pound is in, right? It did get to 79.16. In fact, it's at right there right now. So it did trigger that sell. And in terms of the pound Swiss, obviously still kind of waiting on that one. And, you know, this is kind of like, you know, the waiting game, you know, just kind of sitting here waiting to see what happens. Somebody today at the Jump Sunday webinar mentioned, I can't remember who it was, but mentioned that it actually did come down and test this level that I was talking about. And that would be okay if it did that, and it actually did do that. So it's really kind of fitting in with everything that we see. It really needs to start moving up tomorrow. Tomorrow would be the day that we would like to see this start to move up again, and the 54.38 target and 55.50 target would come into focus. Obviously, the pound Swiss and the euro pound are quite similar setups. Not exactly the same, but they are quite similar setups. So we'd like to see both these start moving in the direction of, you know, in the expected direction. In terms of, you know, the Aussie pairs I've been watching, still kind of drifting around. You can see here the Aussie is in the box. Things like the Aussie CAD still kind of really choppy. Not a lot going on the daily chart. The Aussie Swiss still, I would say, is in this giant big consolidation area. So not so interested in those at the moment. That's really it, guys. Just wanted to give you the weekly setup on the Kiwi. I wanted to inform you that I'm in on the euro pound and the pound Swiss, and that we probably are going to get a euro trigger, a euro kangaroo tail, daily kangaroo tail, and who knows, we may even get a really nice Kiwi weekly trade, which is, I love the weekly trades because they're really fun to, you know, to kind of watch and wait. I'm not sure what's going on with gold. Some people have asked. I think, you know, gold's kind of at that stage where it needs to decide, you know, what are you going to do here? Are you going to break through and go higher, or are you going to mess around and consolidate here? We did get that sort of blow off move, snapped back down, so it's going to make another run at 1327. We'll see what happens when it gets there. I wish you happy trading and hope to see you this week at the weekly webinar, and we'll see you soon. Bye.